hello, everyone. And you know it's Saturday night late stream. Try to help the West Coasters out a little bit and some of the people not on the East Coast. So I try to go a little bit later just to get that, give everybody some FaceTime there, so to speak. And I'm just posting this in the group in case you want to get some people on. Stuffy, David, good to see you guys. How y'all doing this evening? I'm just chilling. Chilling tonight. So just getting ready to go to, hey, Mark, getting ready to go to the Great White North this week. Just trying to get some stuff tied up, around here and just hanging out, just relaxing this weekend before a busy week. So I know it is late, but if you've been following, this is the one day of the week that I try to do one that's really late. And I was on earlier with Ed and everyone earlier, so I didn't want to go like right back to back because then it just seems like one real long one. And like to give everybody their fair due. But 11 people in here now. The link is posted right up there. If you're interested in joining, feel free to click it. Mark, if you ain't doing nothing, come on in, man. Let's talk about it. We can talk about whatever. It doesn't matter. Beekeeping related. We can bring it in. Maybe we can get Brian. Hey, Jeff, good to see you, buddy. So, I'm really excited about the Facebook group. If you're not on the No Life Beekeepers Facebook group, go join us over there, guys. And, we're able to post files and stuff in there. So like that queen rearing spreadsheet that James McNally had sent to me, I posted it up in there so you can get that and use that if you choose to. People share posts from different groups and whatnot. And you always get notifications when different people are going live in there on different channels. And so you can come join us and hang out with us. So, there is a poll going on in a different Facebook group. You might be a member of it because they've got like 26,000 members in it. And it's honeybee swarm catching. And Philip at 33 Mile Bees added my swarm lure to the poll of attractants there. And right now we're getting beat mercilessly right now because we got added on kind of late. So Swarm Rustler is at 8%. And some people are clicking the Swarm Wrangler confusion there. But Swarm Rustler is the one. And trying to catch up with the old lemongrass and the Swarm Commander. If I'm up there, it'll look good. I know a lot of people in this group use it, so I'd appreciate if you could take that poll for us. It'd be great. But hey, if you want to come join us and send a little message over there to Brad. This might be a little late for Charlie on a Saturday night. But just hanging out. What you guys got going on good? Hey, David, good to see you. And nothing. Nobody. Usually, it's pretty quick. People jump in. But I understand they might be getting live streamed out tonight. Too many live streams. Everybody's getting tired of talking bees. Maybe I need to put at Brad where he'll see it. Because Todd is partying with his buddies tonight. But we've been, I'm excited about the suit coming. Guys, matter of fact, if you order it from my website and use the code at checkout, right? The coupon code and checkout stream 10, you save 10% on the order from the website. And I've got a few going out. I got Diana Weaver, Mike Nordvik, and Billy Darty got their orders packed up, going out next mail time. I don't know. Is mail running Monday because it's a holiday, I think, President's Day. Well, hey, Clay, great. I'm glad you voted. I appreciate it. Hopefully you voted for me. I appreciate it if you did. Hey, Robert, good to see you. So anybody wanting to join the chat, click the link up there. Come on in. We'll talk and hang out. I know it's kind of late. Let's see if we can see if Brian is available. Let me get the invite code here. Copy and paste over here and see what we can talk about. No mail Monday. Okay, so this will go out the first time the mail comes. It'll definitely get in the mailbox. So I only have a few things on the website, guys. I do have some new Beware, some suits, and a suit and a jacket that's coming that I ordered us with specific things done to it. Not many differences, but a couple differences, mainly like Velcro on the pockets and stuff like that. So I've got a couple samples coming, and if those samples are good, I'll start taking some pre-orders for sizes for people. That's awesome. Yeah, I've got some nectar too, Hope. I need to get up there to you to get that grafting table from you. I definitely need to get that because that'll be very helpful. So definitely looking. Let's see. All right, Brad says he's watching a movie with his wife. So if we're still on then, and you know how I work, if it's if nobody joins, we end up cutting it close here, and we'll cut it short. And I don't know if Philip is working tonight, so I'm just sending out a few messages. Let me see if Charlie's working or not. He might be. He might just not want to do it because it's late. It's late. I understand it. I've got some hope that I've started doing some equalization with. Just robbing some from the week because I'm going to be out of town and giving them to some of my smaller colonies to try to get those things straightened out. Not that they're bad, just give them a little extra boost, right? And try to make that a little bit of a better situation in some of those colonies. All right, we're making ground, guys. We are making ground on the survey there, on the poll. So not bad. Not bad. So what are you guys doing in your apiaries? Anything new? Most of you guys got snow. All right, Mark said give him a few minutes and he'll come in. So we got some people probably going to come visit us here. And let me see if let me see. There is a post. I'm trying to and hopefully see get that happening here. So what I'm trying to do with Mark's dressed today. Hey, Mark.
How you doing, Bob?
I'm doing good, man. You're burning the midnight oil tonight.
I am, ain't I?
That's I try to go a little bit later on Saturday night because usually when we go at 8, like people on the West Coast are just getting off work. And then by the time they get home, they're kind of lagging behind. So I try to do this to, people mountain time and all that can join in a little bit. And it's late enough where everybody else is already off of live streams and stuff like that. And we can just, be fair to everybody. Man, you got a ton of frames there behind you.
Oh, it's just something I've been working on. Them come from my mentor's place. They had some left over. I just bought them from them. They're the old style, wired.
Is that
they had the wax and everything?
Line or what?
Sir?
Fishing line or wire?
That's wire. Yeah, they had the wax and everything. All I got like now is putting the wire and wedges in there. They'll be ready to go.
Well, I've used them like that with the fishing line in them, and man, it's good if you put the wedge in there and you wax it and they draw down because you can clip that fishing line and drag it right out. Now you got a cut comb, right?
Yeah,
or chunk comb or something like that. So
this is the last of these I'm going to do. I just got them from them. I wouldn't have ordered none, but I'll just do plastic from now on.
Yeah, I love the plastic frames, except they don't love my uncapper.
Oh no, I'm talking about plastic foundation. I'll have wood
foundation. Yeah. I'm going back to wood. So my goal is to eventually move the plastic out. I really like them. They're cheaper. They work fine. My bees don't care about them. As long as I put wax on them, they do fine. But if I use them in the honey box, the uncapper don't like them. They're just a little bit too slick for those stainless steel little nipples that the frame rides on, and they want to drop. But the wooden ones do great.
I heard somebody say that these wire ones don't go through there very good either.
Oh, really? I don't know.
Yeah.
They've worked when I've had fishing line on them. They haven't had a problem going through my uncapper.
Okay. Because I'd like to have an uncapper like that. Really, I'd like to have the automatic one, but I can't afford that right now.
Well, $2,000 more. They take the handle off and they put a motor on. So, is it worth $2,000? I don't know.
Well, I got a little bit saved up, but not quite that much.
Hey, Jeremy, the Bee Supply carries my swarm lure. I don't know if you got one near you, but they carry it out there. So if that's easy for you, or order it direct, either way, however you want to do it. But yeah, it's just getting close to swarm season. I'm a little bit, well, not a little bit. I'm a lot behind in swarm lure sales from last year to this year. 2 reasons. One, everybody bought swarm lure from me last year in the chat, right? So most everybody did. And secondly, I wasn't at the conference, and the conference helped out a lot at that. And I couldn't help my mama was going to pass, and so we're working with that. But
yeah, I noticed the other guy was there. I noticed that.
Amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I was taking a bite out of crime right there.
Yeah. And he hadn't been there in the last few years, has he?
He hadn't been there ever. This was
ever?
First year.
Figure he might already make an appearance, I reckon.
Well, I'll tell you the biggest the biggest validation he gave me was a letter from a lawyer.
Yeah.
If he thought if it was good enough that he was scared enough to pay a lawyer to send me a letter about my product, then that told me right then I was onto something, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, evidently he got squashed because he doesn't, once my lawyer refuted him, that was it. there was nothing else to it. So
you caught him sleeping, Bob's what it is. You caught him sleeping. See?
Well, these companies get comfortable. Like my bee suit, if it's as good as it seems, right? Because I haven't had it in my hand yet, and they're coming. And if they're as good as they seem, I'll be able to sell a quality jacket at a more affordable price than the competitor. And
is it the same guy I was thinking about? Where's he?
It's very
Afghanistan.
No, it's not in Afghanistan. No, it's but it is ventilated jacket, ventilated full suit, both of them. So I'll be able to be very competitive if shipping plays nice with us, and be able to provide a quality product. So we'll see how it goes. But it's this whole. I'll tell you what, man. I love this industry, and I love the people in the industry, but it is so cutthroat. Products are so cutthroat, and you think you got a friend 1 minute, and then you get stabbed in the back on the other side of it, and it's the craziest thing ever. But we're just trying to make our little way in the bee world, and
that's why I just rather sell queens by word of mouth. Just to me, it seems like a better way,
Well, I mean, it's so crazy. I do everything I can. Like, y'all have seen me printing out orders and stuff and packing while I'm on a live stream, because I don't hold these things. It's not something that that I wait to ship up, right? I don't sell it unless I have it. Or if it's the first time and it's a pre-order, everybody already knows the order is coming. It's just waiting to get here, and then it's getting shipped out the very next day. I don't hold on it. I don't mess with nobody's money. It's just get here and ship it out and get done with it. And a lot of people, I mean, that's their comment. Man, that was quick shipping, right? Well, I'm not dilly-dallying. I'm just trying to get it done. And it's everything. I mean, it's funny. Like, you'll help somebody in their bee yard, and they'll ask you, "Do you have nukes?" Well, yeah, I'll sell you some nukes. How much are they? Same as everybody else, $200, right? Oh, well, I found some out here cheaper, so I'm gonna go get them, right?
Yeah.
So my comment to that guy was, well, next time you need someone to come to your bee yard and go through your hives for you, call that fella 45 miles away that you're going to go pick up these $20 cheaper nukes to come out and get for you. It's not it's kind of crazy. I mean, it really is.
I solved that problem. I went up to 225.
You went up to 225?
Yeah, take it or leave it.
Just shake them out. Well, I mean, shake out the weak hands, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's my thing. So nukes, I'm trying to expand my apiary. If they don't buy the nuke, that's fine. It'll just be one I don't have to make,
Right. It breaks my heart to see them leave anyway. So it's worth 225 to me. So, if you want it, that's what it's going to take to get it. So there it is.
Well, I mean, you figure. Oh, Blythewood Bee Company. So yeah, you got to know the whole history of this whole thing, right? So I was a big proponent of Blythewood Bee Company. They're my only bee store, right? So I was going there, and I was trying to help them when I first got started with doing the beekeeping YouTube. I wanted to work with them. They didn't want nothing to do with me because I didn't have enough subs, right? But I still supported them. Still did videos and whatnot, and tried to help him sell some product. And then last year for Hive Life, I had set up to where because the owner has some health issues, couldn't go, right? And I said, well, I'll go up there and carry a trailer full of stuff and sit in a thing and sell it for you, and work something out. And, oh, okay. Well, if most of y'all probably don't remember, they showed up on the vendor list, but then they went off the vendor list because they never filled out the application, never paid for it, which left me kind of sitting there like a dumbass with no ticket because I was supposed to sit in their booth. Well, Lee had an extra ticket, which is how I ended up going last year. And the thing is that when he tells his story about how he came up with the commander, right, swarm commander, he says, well, I was in the perfume industry for several years, right? And I'm like, well, okay, I was in the pharmaceutical industry. I have a chemistry background. I manufactured nuclear pharmaceuticals. So I know how to mix chemicals together, right? Mm-hmm. So then I started doing the research on what the Nasonoff pheromone was, using reputable scientific research from Chem Europe and the National Health Institute. And then I'm like, well, hell, I can do that.
Right.
And so that's how I made it. And then people started supporting me, and I'm, buying it and putting out some videos. The next thing I get into the bee supply and up in Canada, Dancing Bee, and, start to grab some foothold of the market. And then all of a sudden I'm getting lawsuits or threats of lawsuits. It wasn't really a lawsuit, but a threat of a lawsuit, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay. But
it was scare tactics, all it was.
Yeah, but the thing is, the people that have used it have caught swarms with it.
Yeah.
They're happy with it. That's all that matters to me. You can get it cheaper. So there's three things when I did that, right? First thing was I needed to make it as a competitive price. So if you go on Amazon, right as we sit, mine is listed for $29.99. Theirs is listed for $33.95. That's already 10% cheaper. I got a $3 off coupon that you can use if you use the code in there and knock it down another $3 is $26.95. So now you're almost 20% cheaper than they are.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wholesale it into a small beekeeping supply company, they get a great deal on it. They make more on the product than I make at that point, which is fine.
Right.
So what it does is it gives the consumer a cheaper product. It gives a good margin to the person selling it, especially the small beekeeping supply store, because I like those guys. I like to be able to walk into a store and say, hey, I need 50 frames, 100 frames, whatever, and get them and carry them to the house and talk bees.
I like going in there and saying, hey, I've got something you can make some money off of.
Right. So that's how it ended up being. I mean, I'm not getting rich on a bottle of swarm lure,
Right.
But the thing is that I just felt like I could make a little bit of money. The beekeeping supply store could make a little money. And guess what? The customer can save a little bit of money, and still everybody wins in that aspect, So that was my goal, and that's what I did. So he felt threatened by that.
Yep.
So
it's a cutthroat all the way around, really.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is, unfortunately. I mean, at the end of the day, people are going to buy what they like anyway, right? So if you use my lure and you like it, you'll buy it. If you don't, you won't.
You're going to support who you like and the product you like. It's bottom line. And what you can afford to an extent.
How many applications? I bought a bottle of Swarm Commander 5 years ago. This is me. I don't put out a whole bunch of swarm traps, but I've caught a bunch of swarms, and I always spray some in the box when I'm catching a swarm anyway, right? At least a pump in there. And I've got over half of that one left. My original bottle I ever bought I still have that in the other room. And I don't use it. That's why I still some in there, because starting when I made mine, I started using mine, right? So it's just one of those things that depend. I mean, it's going to depend. I don't know how many pumps you'll actually get out of a bottle. It's 2 ounces. So if you've used a bottle of Swarm Commander in the past, imagine whatever that one, however many applications you got out of that, you'd probably get out of mine as well.
Yeah.
I've never done the how many licks does it take to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop.
Bear with me. I got to put another log on the fire here.
You're burning fire. It's supposed to get down to 30 tomorrow, or 29 here.
Yeah. Getting cold in here. I got to put another log on here. You don't see my Ian Stepper moment.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. I bet you it's toasty in there, too.
Yeah, it feels good. Oh, yeah. I can't let it go out because I painted some boxes. I'm trying to keep it warm in here.
Get them to cure.
Yeah.
Been, but I still got a bunch of stuff to do. I just been too lazy to go do it. Like
That's me.
Melt wax,
Way.
paint frames and stuff.
I ain't really had a whole lot of time either.
So when you going to start grafting queens? When do you usually get started grafting?
I'm hoping about the 3rd week of March. I'm supposed to be inspected the 26th of March. So
I'm planning to try around the middle of March to start. I'm not in a hurry for it, really. I'm trying to let these colonies just pack themselves out as much as possible, so when I go to taking a few frames out of each of them, that it's not going to be at their detriment, right? I've had that in the past where I've done that, and then it gets cold, and then it's like crap, they all die. And
I've got to order some more boxes, Bob. Why you just now triggered something in my brain. Yeah, I'm way low.
So I did get in touch with the syrup guy, but now they've got kind of a list to go get it. So
gotta get some more of these.
Did you find some
really.
Chinesium ones, or are you getting them from Man Lake?
These are JZBZ, and they're about $6, $7 a piece now. They were like $4 when I first started.
You buying them from Man Lake, or?
Well, I might find somewhere to get them. I ain't looked.
I know Man Lake had them recently, but it's just one of those things to where
I don't have to order 100 at a time. I can get, because usually they have these. They don't usually run out.
Right.
I can get 20 or 30 at a time. But
what does that neon?
I've got to get some, though. I got to remember to do that.
Oh, so you call him up, and he's going to put you on a list to get your syrup, and then he's going to call you when they have the excess, is what he said. So
where's that
at? At the Domino place.
See, I was supposed to go today to Clarkston pick up syrup, but I got beat down up there on 70 and shut down all day yesterday. I didn't get in till this morning, so that wasn't going to happen.
All right, William, we'll talk to you later, buddy. I had I still got like 2 or 3 buckets left of syrup, so I could give them. They've all got feed in them. Every colony I went to that's viable has honey in it or syrup honey. So they've got stores that should make them till the real stuff really starts kicking. But there's some open nectar in there that they're bringing in from somewhere. I guess those camellia flowers in my yard.
I'd just rather go ahead and get it secured now as to wait till summer and it's twice as high.
Right.
Because if price jumps like it did, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
it'll be outrageous.
It'll be too much. But so I'm just gonna kind of let them pack up as much as they can in them boxes before I start pulling a bunch of frames out, just trying to equalize. And I will, hopefully it warms up, but it's supposed to be cold all the way to the day I go to Canada. And then it's supposed to warm up. So it's one of those things that, do I go out there when it's cold and try to do it? Or do I just spin the wheel and hope that that I still got bees in the box when I get back in a week? They'll probably be fine. But you just don't know. I got a few drones walking around in there, but not a ton of them yet. So it's not like it's time to really graft anything. But I just don't want to be pulling them out of the trees or trying to find them after they've decided to go. I did have a message for a cutout, and I said, give me till about the middle of March, because I don't want to do it before it's like too cold. While it's too cold, and cut them out of this house. So
we'll see. You got time to do a cutout?
No, not really. I'll make it somehow. And they're probably my bees anyway, to be all honest with you, because it's only like a mile up the street here. So it could be one of my lost swarms that moved into their trailer house. And I wouldn't be surprised if I pull them out and they've got a marked queen in there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Another reason not to mark your queens before they go in a nuke or something. If they swarm out on you, well, they ain't mine because they don't have a mark on them. So that's what they say. Hey, there's J-Dub. Hey, JW. Oh, your mic's muted, sir. Or not on. So do you have a goal for the number of queens you're going to try to produce this year?
I want to try to sell about 500.
Last year you did like 1,000, didn't you? Or grafted 1,000?
Yeah, I grafted 1,000, but I didn't sell 1,000. I sold a lot of sales, and I lost a bunch. I want to sell about 500. I want to sell about 15 nukes, and I'm gonna raise my honey production up this year. I want to try to shoot for 200 gallons. We'll see how that goes.
Now, how many honey production colonies are you really utilizing right now? How many are really that you say these are honey colonies?
I try to run about 60% new queens. This is 24, so it'd be 23 queens.
Right.
And 25 to 30% 2-year-olds, and then the rest 3-year-olds. That gives me whatever 65% of 60 colonies is. So that's what, 30-ish plus. And then my 2-year-olds will be for breaking down splits and making cell builders. And my 3-year-olds are mainly for longevity, to see if how they're going to live through the whole process, right?
Right.
So that's kind of the way I run it. Of course, my early nukes that I make up for myself, they'll still make summer honey. And then I'll take some of them 2-year-olds and beef them up as well. So they'll do a little better. if I have any left, along about that time.
Well, you've got enough drawn comb now, right? That when you start a nuke and they start building up, you just drop some more in there, or you usually put foundation with them and let
I
them.
have hardly any drawn comb. I haven't lost any bees, so it's hard to come up with drawn comb for me. Now, like I got rid of 2 nukes the other day, and they were overwintered nukes, right? I mean, they're $300 nukes.
And here you have
Yes, sir.
yeah. I just come in from Wally World and was getting ready to shut the TV off to go to bed, seeing y'all were chatting on there. I thought I'd stick my nose in here. And
Yeah, we try to go a little bit later on Saturday night to try to let some of the West Coast people and stuff get involved if they choose to. They might all be pillow now anyway.
I wanted to support the Walton-airs a little bit. I heard they was about to go broke, so I run out and
Yeah, I'm sure they're hurting.
so
I don't know.
I've got somewhat of a delay here. I'm about 3 or 4 seconds off y'all. So
Well, I hear your voice, and then your lips move like a Chinese movie, like a old kung fu movie. Which
I don't know
like right now.
Unless there's that many on my my internet system, maybe a little bit running a little slow.
Hey, David.
So,
Hello, how y'all doing?
Doing good. How you doing? Look, got a fellow.
Time to get up out of the bunk to say hi to everybody.
We woke you up.
Looks like
I was
David's
watching J3 and everything earlier, and Mark on his channel.
The where you at now? I see you're in the
I'm
truck.
over in Virginia right now. Just went through all that snow in New Jersey this morning.
Okay.
I went through it yesterday up in northern Missouri. I come from St. Joe trying to get across 70. I was there all day.
It was all shut down with accidents.
It was all day affair.
how much snow did you get, Mark, at home?
What'd you say, J-Dub?
I said, how much snow did you get at home there, Mark?
We didn't get any here.
None?
It got down to about Paducah or Cape Girardeau when it quit.
Yeah.
We didn't get
And my
any.
wife said we didn't get any in Alton, Missouri yesterday either.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't get any. That's for sure.
I'm telling you, it come a blizzard up there.
I was in
That's
a
what I did.
storm coming
3
across
inches
here.
dropped in an hour.
So all you guys are getting the real winter weather up there then.
13 degrees here right now.
Woo.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah, my wife said it's going to be 23 degrees where I live at in southern Missouri.
They're giving 70 here for Wednesday. It's
Eugene
supposed to
said
warm
they
up
didn't
to
get any.
40s tomorrow, but it's 13 right now.
It's
It was
40.
gonna be
David, you
60
told
the
me.
rest of the week.
You
Sorry?
told me, David, where Alton was, but I can't remember where you said it was exactly. Is it over?
It's just north of Mammoth Springs, Arkansas, right off 63 and 19.
Okay, like going to West Plains?
West Plains, yeah, I'm 42 miles from West Plains where I live at.
Okay, you're up in the hills and the curves right there.
160, right on the curve, is going to be in between West Plains and Poplar Bluff, Missouri.
Okay, and if you cut across that carry you like to Donovan, am I right?
Yeah. Donovan is I'm 32 miles from Donovan, going towards West Plains.
Okay, I know right where you're at.
Well, you're not too far from that Stevens boy down there, then, are you, David?
From who?
Corey Stevens.
Corey Stevens.
Oh no, I'm 90 miles away from Corey Stevens. In fact, I'll be visiting the first Tuesday of March. I'll be going down to his bee meeting down at the church in Sykeston.
Corey's going to be up in Canada next week with me.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to talk to the guy where I started out my bees, and his name's Steven with Missouri Bees. That's how I ended up getting my queens before I went and bought a Harbo F1 queen.
Cool.
What was the price tag on that queen?
$450 at the time.
to take. Hopefully, they gave you a low interest rate and easy payments.
They don't give
Well,
you
I
nothing.
haven't had to treat my mites. I haven't had to treat mites for 4 years. I do the Harbo essays and everything.
That's good.
Do you do any virgin trades, David?
Yeah, I've been known to do them. And Corey, I want to talk to him eventually about trying to swap out some of his genetics to mine. That way I got some of his genetics in my yard. That way I'm not just doing one genetic over and over and over.
Right, he's
No,
got a diversified bunch over there too. You know, he can,
Yep. Yeah,
can
I
still
take
give you
his
some of his,
virgins and
but
breed them with my males.
right.
I'll start making queens the 3rd week of March. By the way, the weather's going to hold up.
What I'm hoping for. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm only about 170 miles from your house, Mark.
Yeah, I come through there quite often. I don't usually come up that road going to West Plains. I usually go across 60 and then come down. I
Right.
deliver there at West Plains a lot. They're at that 10 box or whatever it is now.
Yeah, $10. Yeah, that little grocery store.
Yeah.
That's about how far you are from me too, I think, David. I'm in Southern Illinois, so.
Yeah, I'm probably about the same distance from over that way. If you're across from Sykes, then I'm about the same distance.
Yeah, well, I'm north and across from Sykeston and north, about 40 mile probably. So.
Oh, okay.
You up there
So
around Anna?
North Anna.
North of Anna. Okay.
I'm North Anna. Yeah.
Up there around that peach orchard.
You come up 57. You ever come up 57, Mark? I'm south of Salem, if you know where Salem, Illinois is. They're on 57.
There's an orchard there somewhere, but I can't remember what town it's in. Big peach orchard.
I'm just off of 64 there. I'm just northeast of 64, and where 64 and 57 intersect there at Mount Vernon, Illinois. I'm just northeast of there, about 15 miles.
Okay.
I go through that area all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff said he's going to be at the Central Wisconsin Bee Conference the 16th of March.
I'm thinking about driving up there. I don't know if I'll go or not. Depends on the weather. I've been working on bee stuff. I've been building more bee stands and getting some hives ready or some boxes ready for splits. This spring, I'm going to expand my operation a little bit, I think, this spring.
I've been trying to give mine comb so she'll lay them up so I can rob cat brood out.
I just bought 2 cases of Premier Foundation frames. I've got to get waxed up. I'll re-wax everything pretty heavy. So
I stopped in South Dakota last week and picked me up 200 sheets of foundation for Premier.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it might just be the piece that I got. I don't know. I've got the piece at the Hive Life Conference last year when we came in. The bees that were in with it didn't touch it, not a lick. Not at all. So
I have pretty good luck with it. I use either Premier or about Acorns, about all I use, Acorn or Premier.
Yeah, the Acorn, I got that. Some of that. James McNally had bought a bunch of that Premier, and this was, well, it would make sense because he got it the year before I got mine at the conference, and he said they didn't draw that up at all, even when he waxed it. And they made good by him, though. They sent him some more foundation. So he said they had an issue, I guess, where it wasn't getting good wax on it or something. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. I've had good luck with Right Cell, and I've had good luck with Acorn and Pierco for that matter. And then I just that one piece they just didn't get to. It might have just been that colony just didn't get to it too. So you just never know, right?
Yeah.
The only foundation I ever used was Man Lake's right sail. I haven't used anybody else's, but I was having to go through South Dakota, so I picked it up right there at the store.
Right. I'm thinking about calling the guy from there at Golden Bee up there at Sedalia. I go through there every week. And some weeks I go to St. Joe and pick up. Some weeks I deadhead back. And if I can catch a week where I deadhead back, just he's got frames with foundation already built for like $280 something.
He's the cheapest in the country, and they tell me this good stuff. I've got a good friend over in the St. Louis area that's he's got about 100 colonies, and he uses all of his frames and foundation. He says I don't know where he acquires them at, but the guy I went to a conference in St. Louis over this past weekend, Eastern Missouri Beekeepers, and he was there, and he had full frames for $280 a piece. We're selling them individually at that price. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what he would get like on a pallet, but I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
A pallet
nice
load
people.
to bring them home, you know.
They're nice people, and they say he really gives good service and takes good care of his customers. So you may want to contact him if you're needing some frames and foundation.
Last time I was home, I bought 100 boxes from Man Lake and frames. Put about 400 of them together last time I was home. Now I got to put wires through them because I like to use them in the brood boxes, no foundation.
Yeah. I've done that for years.
I'm too lazy. I use all foundation stuff because I'm just a hobbyist.
I got to get away from the wife. If I'm home too long, I got to get out and work. Otherwise, it drives me nuts being around the wife all the time.
Well, I've had the same.
You might not should say that live.
Oh, and she'll laugh and agree because she throws me out of the house after about 2 days, tells me to get back in the truck and leave. I've been driving truck for 30 years. I've been married to her for 35.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see.
Mark, you reach out to me or ask me about, you looking for a butcher calf? Is that what you was looking for? Or are you looking for some feeders?
I just seen you with a picture of that calf, and I thought, man, that's a pretty calf. I'd like to have one of them.
I raised pure red Angus for 62 years, but I'm pretty well out now. So I'm a professional bee wrangler now.
When I go up to Ian's, he said he should have between 400 and 600 calves up there when I go up there. So
yeah,
that'll be fun.
They got it may be this week. His brother has a big bull sale every year. They sell quite a few breeding bulls up there. So I've been up in that country to this bull sales and stuff. I sold bulls all over the country at one time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty well out now, Mark, but I've got a bunch of young guys that started.
Right.
That's got feedlots and stuff here, and I didn't know if he was looking for some feed. Cattle's high right now, so it's not a good time to be buying calves, unless you're.
Yeah, but what ain't high?
Now, unless you're buying bottle babies, because we just bought a bunch of bottle babies, but if you don't want bottle babies, you're gonna pay a pretty penny for them.
Yeah. Are they Holsteins or something? Are they, sir? David?
They're Jersey mixes that come from the dairy farms.
Yeah.
They're cheap. They're $75 for a bull and $125 for a heifer.
Yeah.
And I still eat them. I have to butcher 2 cows a year to feed my whole family because we do a family co-op and we use my farm to raise them.
There ain't nothing wrong with a Jersey. I'm telling you, I'll just soon eat one of them as anything.
Yeah, it turns into hamburger just the same as the rest.
Well, I was in the beef cattle business for years, but my dad preferred he would buy one of my beef cows when he was alive. He'd go buy he liked Jersey bulls. He wanted the bull. Yeah. He was really old school.
Finished him out on corn too, didn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got cows, chickens, pigs, goats.
I'm trying. I got a lot of coons and possums and a few
That's me.
I
cats.
got them too, but I don't eat them. My dog does though.
I had a lot of chickens. Then something else had a lot of chicken.
Yeah, you can't.
Well, everything likes chicken. People, every animal loves a chicken.
Yeah.
I got one rooster left out there, and everything else got slaughtered by animals.
Heck, I can't even keep guineas here. They'll get the guineas even, you know.
And I was wondering what was getting them. So I put up 2 trail cams, and damn if the coyotes weren't right standing in my driveway
Yeah.
coming to get it.
That's what happened to my ducks last year. The coyotes got my ducks.
Yep.
I got a neighbor that bald eagle come down and got her little pointer dog. Took him off.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the deal that I got when I was at the show in Mississippi. There, I picked up 100 frames when I was down there.
Talk about recently on the dog, coyotes getting the dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're probably in season right now, so they might, they bunch up. When they're
It wasn't a coyote, JW. It was a bald eagle.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah. Swooped down and got him. Carried him off.
A pointer bird dog.
It was one of them wiener dogs.
Oh, a little one. Yeah. Okay. I thought you said pointer.
Oh no. We used to have pointers when I was a kid,
Yeah.
back when there was quail.
Yeah. Anyway.
So you guys got the cold weather. When's it supposed to start warming up for y'all up there?
It's supposed to be in the 40s tomorrow, but it's 13. I'm showing here. And it's supposed to be 70 Wednesday in our area, but we'll see if they're right. They're not always correct,
I don't so much worry about the high temperature anymore. It's just the low temperatures, right? What is it going to be at night? So
we're gonna be 40s and 50s after the night. We're right there at my house in Missouri.
It's our most critical time right now with this cold snap.
Yeah,
if I'm going to lose bees, it's going to be right now.
Yeah.
That's when I had my son out there feeding all my bees and putting pollen patties and all that on them yesterday. Because I have a little swarm that I caught in October, and it survived the winter so far. It's only about as big as a softball, but it's still kicking.
Yeah. Problem I have is they get laid up with brood, and they're trying to keep that brood warm.
Yep, they won't.
It turns off to 10, 15, 20 degrees, and they're keeping the brood warm. They can't get to the feed. It's just they die. I mean, if you get 3 or 4 days of cold, if it warms up tomorrow, I think we'll be all right. 2 days, I don't think it'll hurt them. But 3 or 4 days, there'll be some of them dead out there for sure.
Yeah, they won't leave that brood. They're just they'll stay right there and freeze to death. I lost one little old late swarm from last year. I had it in a double 5-frame nuke and they made it up 2 weeks ago. That last cold spell we had come through this area, they froze to death.
Yeah. Come and see me. Call me first. Make sure I got them. I'll try to have sales every Saturday morning.
Eugene, near you?
Try to have them every Saturday morning. Now, it's not always every Saturday morning, but during season,
I'm gonna attempt to graft more than I did last year. I just did a few rounds and then I stopped. I didn't graft anymore after that. But this year, I try to keep it going.
Keep plugging along. Once people find out you've got sales every Saturday morning, you'll start getting calls on Friday night. Hey, you got sales? Yep. Come on. How many you want?
And how much?
I want to know exactly. I want you. You don't have to give it out, in public. If we shut this thing down, if you hang in there, I'd like to get your number and see right where you're at, because I'd be Bud be interested in talking to you about some thought, maybe also.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not hard to find. Most everybody here knows me.
It's like me. I get messages. People are like, you didn't answer my message. Well, I'm live streaming all day long, so I turn my phone on silent. You know, and then I
That's
forget
rude
that it's
today,
on
Bob. I've
silent.
seen you all over the place today.
Yeah, I forget it's on silent, and then I'll go to bed or something and come back the next day and look at my phone. I'm like, man, that was 8 o'clock last night. I missed it.
Heck, I did about a whole 30-minute video this afternoon. Bob got home to upload it. I didn't have the sound on the thing.
Hey, that happens. That's one of the things with a live, I know that it's
Sure.
live, so I'm not missing anything. But sometimes you'll record something, especially in the heat of the summer with a GoPro, and it'll just decide, yeah, I'm too hot, and just shut off right in the middle of it. And you don't know that it's shut off, and you're still doing everything. And you get done, you got half a video. You know,
I had mine kick off a couple of times today. I think it's because it's too cold. You know, I run a little. So
hey,
I
Mark,
got
you
my
got a
phone
pencil
out.
with you?
Sir.
You got a pencil handy or a pen?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
That's Eugene's email. He said you have to email your number. He said you're in Union City, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
That's your address, Mark. I'm gonna write that down. I can find you. I know where Union City is.
That's not me. I don't know.
Oh.
That's Eugene's.
Oh, okay. Excuse me.
NOA@WK.net. I got you. It's during the season, Eugene. It's I'll give you my email because it's if I'm out there with the bees, and I work the bees a lot, so it's hard to answer the phone. It's best during the season to email me. That way, that evening when I get home, I check my emails. I can call you. Because if I'm out there working bees and I get a number from an out-of-state number, I'm not going to answer it most of the time anyway.
Well, you get so much spam. You're like me. I don't answer unless I pretty well know who it is.
I really like when the phone says suspected spam, and it lets me know. And I'm like, yep, I'm taking that one.
And especially you got the hood on, you're working bees, you know, long distance number. I go through Bardwell every Friday. So I know right where you at.
Well, I've got 25 queens coming from Jose at some point this year. And I'm going to graft, and I got some nukes coming. So hopefully we can fill these boxes again.
You mean you're going to buy some more nukes?
Yeah. So I flip nukes, right? I flip them. And if they don't pick them up, then I just add them in. But if they're like the ones last year, it might be my last time buying them. Well, no, not might. It will be the last time I buy them because some of them did really good and some of them were just so mite infested that it was not good, right? And more, I mean, it's not the nuke. I'm bringing them back to my home apiary like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not trying to infest anything or infest anybody else's stuff. But now I got the secret weapon over here, those Appy tablets. As soon as they come, they're going to get one, blop, 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 right up. Half of one on each nuke. And
I was going to say, you could take them queens out and sell them queens. And turn around, get you some more queens, and then catch that timing just right, do OA on them, kill all them mites at once. Boom. If you caught that time just right, you know.
Right. And I've still got some Apivar strips and the oxalic acid vaporizer and the tablet. And the tablet's been working pretty well. I mean, I can't complain. I haven't seen in the ones that have the app tablets. I haven't even seen any beetles in them.
Cool.
So,
I think Tim was on to something today about that, cover scent. I noticed why is it you'll have beetles in one hive and you want the next hive and they're not weak.
Right.
What I feel like, in my opinion, is you've got a stronger pheromone in the one that don't have beetles, and you got a weaker pheromone in the one that does have beetles. And if you're just covering that scent up, then you don't have beetles.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Leave too. It's like, well,
yeah. I don't.
Could be.
It's hard to say.
Well, and we were talking about it. Why don't they do more research on beetles? Well, that's because everybody's got mites, but not everybody's got beetles, right? So,
yeah.
And the thing with the mites, I'm a little discouraged at mite treatments. And you know how I like to get on soapboxes, so I'll try not to get on a soapbox too bad with it. But how many years have we had varroa mite in the States? And they can't tell you what it is in oxalic acid that kills the mite. And that's straight from Dr. Lewis Bartlett.
Well, it's kind of like in my opinion, I don't know, I may be way off, but I think it burns their feet. And they're like a blow up mattress. When you poke a hole in it, it goes down, right?
Right.
So if their feet get burnt, they're done. So one little hole in them, they're done.
Yeah, that's interesting. You think with all of the studies that they've done on mites and mite treatments and everything that they would be able to know already what to do with it, with all the money that's getting done.
Well, here's the problem. All these people are funded by the government, basically, right?
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say. I mean, that's pretty much answers the question right there.
That's the same thing they say about like cancer, right? The reason they haven't cured cancer is because the government
put
money into cancer research.
Yeah, everybody wants that government funded money.
What's that, David?
So there's too much money in treating it, and then there isn't curing it.
Yep.
That's just like what me and you are trying to do, David, with the bees. You don't see the government helping me and you, do you?
Oh no, they won't either.
No. Sure won't, and they won't help Corey either.
Nope.
Well, it's just an interesting topic. I mean, I think all of us, you could ask any beekeeper and they would tell you, oh, the less stuff I have to put in my hive, the better, right? We would all love to go out there and not have to put anything in the colony. No treatments, no vaporization, no nothing, right? Maybe some syrup, right? But how much more syrup could you feed them if you wasn't having to buy hundreds of dollars of treatments for varroa mites that may or may not work?
Right. So, all that's doing is making them money. There's more money in selling shovels than it is mining for gold, right?
Yep.
They're just selling you the shovels. I believe it's going to come a time, if it just don't get totally broke down with what we're doing, it's coming. I'm telling you, it's coming. It's going to get better.
Yeah, it's I think they're really playing kind of a dangerous game. And when I say that,
it's politics, really, if you think about it.
But everybody worldwide says if we lose the bees, that we lose us, right? Because of the food, pollination, and everything else. So why wouldn't that be fixed? Hell, we can send people to the moon. We can't kill a damn mite.
Right.
break.
It's going to be left up to us, the beekeepers. That's what we're in it for, is for the bees, right? We're in it to help the bees. And if you're throwing treatment on them, you're helping them short term, but not long term.
Right.
You're helping them out, and you're helping yourself be successful, right? Because your bees are going to be alive.
Right.
But you're not helping the bees at all long term. So if we can just kind of speed the process up for the bees, maybe it'll help. I ain't saying it will, but maybe it will. That's all we've got as beekeepers. So
yeah,
that's how I look at it.
It's definitely a weird situation. I mean, because man, it just blows my mind. And this is, man, I can go down a rabbit hole. So we start talking about rabbit holes when we start. And you guys, hey, you know how I feel about VSH too, Mark. I've not hidden that from anybody, right? It's not that I disagree. I really hope VSH is successful, but I think, and this is my opinion, and so take that. Every asshole's got an opinion, and this is mine. Mine is VSH is a thing, but I think it's becoming too much of a catchphrase that people that are selling queens, not everybody, but that they throw that out there and they say their queens are hygienic when they're actually not, or that they.
That's why this UBO spray is going to separate the men from the boys. Basically,
Yeah, I've already got my UBO spray ready to go for this summer.
Bullshit walks, right?
Right.
Money talks. So, it's just that's what it's going to be. I mean, you're either going to be full of shit or you ain't. Basically.
And a lot of people believe with VSH you have no mites. You have lesser mites. You still got them in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
A lot of people think they're completely mite free, and I washed last year. One hive washed one, the rest of them washed zeros. My Harbo assays last year, I found one mite out of 7 hives doing a 100 bee extraction out of the cell.
Well, that's the thing is that it gets to the point where this is going to sound terrible, but I'm just going to put it out here because it's late. We only got 27 people watching. Maybe nobody watches the rerun. I don't know. But what I'm going to say,
I watch reruns all the time.
Well, the thing is that if the scientists can't figure it out, the people that are getting the money to figure it out, if they can't tell you, I get that. But here's what I'm saying. So you got that, right? But then you got other people that are ordering like the UBO and these test kits to do it, right? That when you tell them, hey, you put an Appy tablet on a colony and you don't feed them, and then they say, well, hey, they're not eating my Appy tablet. Well, maybe it's the 37 pounds of fondant you've had on it. The reason why they're not eating the Appy tablet, right? So what I'm saying is you're putting people that are qualified scientists that can't figure it out, and then you're coming back to the beekeeper with test kits. And did that test kit cost you any money?
Oh, yeah.
$200 just for 10.
Okay,
10 tests.
So the kit cost you money. I know you two guys, and I know your experience. But what I'm saying is you got other people that, hey, Brad, that I know that watch the chat, that I can see in their comments and I've spoke to before, that I wouldn't trust to do that test correctly. I wouldn't give them no liquid nitrogen to do anything with. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now we're relying on these guys' test results to try to cure a problem when I wouldn't let them wash my truck probably. You know, some of them. I'm just saying. You know, and no, I haven't been drinking, Brad. I know you just showed up, but no, I haven't been drinking. But you see what I'm saying? It's like it's such a conundrum. But then these guys be like, "Oh, I've got VSH queens," and I'm like, "Dude, there's no way in hell I'm ordering queens from you." You know, I mean, but I do. In my heart of hearts, I hope the VSH program and everything works because that's what's best for the bees, right? To be able to eliminate them. But I just think that it's kind of one of those phrases that are getting thrown around so loosely everywhere now that it's almost like you can't trust somebody when they're selling you a queen saying it's VSH unless it's like a handful of people.
That's where I'm going to be doing my Harbo essays, and I will be putting it on YouTube, making videos. I'll be doing the UBO videos. That way I can prove my bees. I don't advertise VSH when I sell my queens. I just sell queens.
Well, I got
if they ask me, I tell them that the mother queen was VSH. Can't guarantee the baby queens when you breed them with your local stock.
Well, I got one friend of mine that he's listening to his mentor, which is a good thing. But his mentor swears up and down that he's got mite-resistant bees that he's developed over the years, right? That chew up the mites and they carry the mites out and all this horse shit. And then he still
I got a microscope. I can find out real quick. I'll bring my microscope over.
But then he loses 50% of his colonies like everybody else, right? Down here. And he's like, well, why did that happen? Well, did you treat them with mites? Well, he did in the wintertime with one appy tablet. The whole year he didn't do shit. And then he throws one tablet on there and wondering, you know, it's too little too late at some point.
Yeah, I lost one hive in 5 years, and it was my fault. I didn't feed that hive enough because I was out on the road for an extended amount of time. So I lost one hive due to starvation, not from mites, because all my mite tests, I keep close tabs on all of it. Like I said, last year I had one hive that washed a 1. The rest of them all washed zeros. And my Harbo essays only had one mite out of 100 bees out of my 14 hives doing Harbo essays.
Well, and that's good. And that's what I'm saying. You need qualified people to be doing this test, not anybody that just signs up and sends them $200 to get the kit to test. Whose results are you trusting? You know, that's what it gets down to.
It's something you've got to strive in. You've got to want it in your apiary. It's not something you're just going to buy one queen and think it's all going to work out.
Right.
It's not. It's something that you've got to want it. You really got to want it. You've got to look for it. You've got to hunt for it.
If my bees score 1 or 2 on the Harbo test, I kill the queen immediately and graft a new queen for that hive. Right. I do not allow my bees to score 1s or 2s. They have to be 3s or 4s at least.
And David, how long have you been working that process of eliminating the queens and replacing the queens? It's been more than 1 or 2 years, I bet.
Oh yeah, I'm working on my 5th. This is going to be my 5th year now doing it.
So
before that, I was treating like everybody else before I decided to switch.
Right, and then I mean, but that's the thing. It's a process. You're not going to just replace the queens.
No, it's not going to be done in 1 or 2
years. You got these wonder bees, right? So you got to continuously try to improve and replace and graft, and it's just a constant rebuild, right? Recycle. And I think a lot of it is right now people feel like, oh, I'm buying this VSH queen. It's going to make everything lovely. And I don't know if there's enough people saying just exactly what you said, right? That it takes some time. It's not a single fix, a silver bullet, if you will.
It's not going to happen overnight. No. Not going to happen.
And next year, here will be my first year. I'm going to be doing AI queens for my own personal hives to see how they come out.
That should be interesting. Yeah,
I'll be putting a video out on that too.
Brad, you're quiet down there tonight.
Yeah. Well, I got the experts up here, and I don't know much to
But
add
hey,
to
I'm
this.
not an expert. I'm just vocalizing my opinions tonight.
Oh no, I was talking about David and Mark.
Oh, oh yeah. Well, they're
I ain't no expert. I just took one glove off this year. I'm hoping to take 2 gloves off of them next year.
that's funny.
More expert than I am with this. Boy, oh boy.
Total. Who are you asking, Frank? He's watching on Brad's channel.
That's on mine. Yeah, it's totally bush. You can't see those.
He hasn't brought any out of winter yet. Yeah, luckily I don't know if it's lucky or not, but I don't have any neighbors close enough to be in my bees range here. But that's actually a bad thing too, because sometimes their drones would be of assistance. I'm grafting queens. But Brad, how was the movie?
Oh, it was good.
Good.
Always nice to enjoy a movie with my wife.
Killer bees seem to survive quite well. Well, we don't know. We don't really know that. Like, we don't know how many feral colonies die every year, right? We don't know. We have no idea. I mean,
Yeah, plus they swarm a lot. And my brother's down in Texas. He sees them swarm all the time, so that's how they keep branching out more and more. And then they do use to take over other hives by the queen just moving in, killing the other queen, and they move right into the hive.
I mean, technically, I should have tons of colonies, wild feral colonies around here that at once were my colonies over the last several years, right? I mean,
I think that's where most of our feral colonies come from, is us beekeeper. I don't think there's as many wild colonies out there as people think they are. I hear people saying, even here, well, I caught 50 last year in my swarm traps. Well, you got a guy right down the road that's got 400 colonies too. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, they survive, but we don't know what percentage of them are surviving. I mean, there's regular non-killer bee colonies that survive in the bottom of trailer homes over here and in walls and stuff, and you don't know how many actually died and how many have lived.
And people say that there's been colony of bees in that wall or tree or whatever for 20 years. They've been in. Well, probably not. The thing dies out, it swarms off, it dies out, somebody else moves in. They don't know.
Gets cleaned out by beetles.
Sure.
Some more come in and take place. Still got that smell.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The dirt rooster shows that all the time on his videos where he has old comb that was old hive, new hive moved in.
David, what's your channel information?
It's Yahoo at Hoskins Bees.
No, that's your email. What's your YouTube channel?
That's right. It's YouTube at Hoskins Bees. It should be. I don't have any videos up yet. My brother was having trouble finding it earlier today.
Okay. Mike was asking there. Let me see. Sure we do. Well, yeah, they live.
Hoskins Honeybees is what it is. Hoskins at Hoskins Honeybees. And you'll see a picture of my green hive with bees all in front of it.
The government should give feral colonies the new flu shot. Frank. But yeah, I mean, definitely colonies. Well, I mean, it's the same thing, right? You got colonies that'll live in your colony, in your hive, and make it all winter long. And I'm sure there's some in trees that'll make it all winter long. But you can't account for what's in that. All of them are making it, right? You can't say just because they're a killer bee, they're making it because they're a killer bee. But I could say, my pissed off bees have made it. So I guess there's something to that. But Yeah, there's bees that make it with no human help for sure.
Yeah, and I
But
think it's due to swarming. A lot of it,
That's the big
like
question.
David said.
Why do those wild colonies make it when the ones we treat don't?
Like David said, I think a lot of that's due to swarming. They swarm and swarm and swarm and swarm.
Yeah, that's a big help.
They just brood break themselves so much.
Even if it's gone, like even if it's not a swarm, if they get tired of putting up with the mites that they leave, you know. So
I mean,
that's
I've caught them and just hope they stay in a box. You know, I don't catch them no more. I'm done.
I do it more
I
as
don't catch any swarms either. Unless they're mine and they're up in a tree, I go get them. But
Right. I
don't
mean,
catch
if
any
they're in my
swarms.
yard, that's different. You know.
I get a lot of calls for like, hey, I got a swarm in my bush. That's not a problem. If it's close by, I'll go grab those.
Somebody asked me the other day. They said, "What do you keep in your truck in case you get a swarm call?" I said, "My buddy's phone number. That's what I keep in my truck."
Right.
I got time to chase these swarms. You
keep
know,
a
like you
pro
say,
nuke
they're
in
in
there.
your yard. They're in your yard. You know, go get 'em. But I just don't have time or energy to be chasing swarm calls.
Yeah, if I get a third yard that's far enough away from my bees, I might start collecting swarms again. But I don't want the swarms interfering with the bees that I'm trying to do with them. So I just
You
don't
talk
bring
about
any
that,
other bees
Brett.
in my yard.
There's times when I ain't got time, and I know I've got 10 virgins up here to make splits to create more hives. I just don't have time. You know. Yeah, time is everything.
Exactly. You're gonna take care of those virgins or those newly mated queens or whatever. Are you gonna climb up in a tree and get some old queen that swarmed on you?
Yeah. Virgins are expendable to me. I've got to take care of what I got out there first. I can make more virgins next week.
Yep.
That's not a priority.
Yeah, that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Up to that point, that's pretty easy. I don't know if anybody was offended by it, but other night at the meeting, I was leading the bee club meeting, and I had $50 in my hand. I had a $50 bill. And in Canada, it's nice to read. You know exactly what it is, right? And I just said to the group, there's 40 people or so there. I said to the group, who wants $50? Who wants this? And I waved it around the room. Who wants this? Nobody was, I thought, nobody wants $50. Finally, somebody spoke up. Okay, so I walked up and just before I got to her, I said, raise your own queen. And I took it back. Right? Just illustration, right? Do you want $50? We'll go raise the queen. There's $50 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only point I was trying to make with them. Because to me, that's just the way I feel is my biggest contribution, my biggest mantra in that club is you need to raise your queens. I don't care what you're raising, BSH or mango biters, or I don't care what you're raising. Raise your own queens. If you're not,
Right.
do it. Right? Not that hard.
And when you get good at that, then you start looking and raising what you want to raise.
Yeah, keep adding in complexities, and whatever. But
right.
The bees do the hard work. Set it up and raise your queens.
Yeah,
I don't know if they got.
That's what I've been learning over the last year or so. If you can make your own queens, it really does change the whole dynamic of your beekeeping, right? Because now it opens the door to so many more options to you. If you've got a bad queen, well, get rid of her, right? And you replace
right
her.
there. You got queen died, or something wrong. You want to pinch her, or whatever. There's a bunch of queens sitting right over there. Go get one.
Yep.
Because I haven't been keeping bees that long, but I notice patterns, and one pattern that's almost infallible is every August the hobbyists come out of the woodworkers here panicking that they need a queen. Well, why do you need a queen? There should be one in your apiary right there. You've had all summer.
Take one of your nukes and combine it in. Done.
Yeah, and it's just I know that there's some people have said to these hobbyists, you don't have what it takes to make your own queens. And that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Right.
You have one hive, you have what it takes to raise queen.
Yeah. That's right.
And you need to do that.
I tell people all the time, you got one hive, you can make queens.
That's right. That's
I'll tell you,
exactly right.
one year I went from 4 nukes overwintered to, I think I went into winter that year with 16. It was when I was starting. And all I did the whole year was I would get a frame that had a ton of queen cells on it. And I took some number 8 mesh. I drilled a hole in a 2x4 and I made little cups of that wire. And I just put it over top of the cells. And I would go, put it in a colony, a nuke, and release out a virgin, take the whole frame, move it to another one, wait for a virgin to hatch out, release her out in the hive, and just kept, that's how I was splitting. I use a frame and I would go from 2 or 3 colonies, letting virgins go in there.
I made queens my first year doing it because I didn't know how to graft or anything. I just put that number 8 cloth over all the queen cells.
And it, that they were good queens at the time. So they made it through winter. And then, just as you learn, you can start adding new techniques and stuff in it. But it was just, I think we as beekeepers, at least I know me as a beekeeper, I have a tendency to overcomplicate things. Thank you, Brad. Appreciate that, brother.
I do too. I read too much all the time.
And, there's some things that we'll see on YouTube or something. You know what? I'm going to try that. And doesn't make any good sense on why you would do something like that, other than you're just duplicating the video. But they're your bees, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? But when I look at the video, I'm sitting there thinking, well, I totally wouldn't have done that. I would have done something a little bit different, right? A little bit easier. But sometimes that's, like, I'm not going to lie to you. Last year, I was always doing the traditional split. I'd take a nuke box. I'd take a couple frames of brood, pop it off to the side, shake some bees in there. I'm sitting there like the chef making the salad, right? And then last year, they're like, what are you doing, man? Just shake those bees down, bring the brood up, put a queen excluder down, and set that box back on top and let the bees equalize themselves, because they're going to tell you how many bees they need to cover those frames up with. And then you come back the next morning and pull those frames and put them in the box, add a cell or a virgin, boom, done, right? And I just never did it.
And one of the most magical things about that is, like you said, Bob, what's in that box now? What kind of bees are in that box now?
Young bees.
In that split. Young bees. Guess what? Young bees have never been outside, so they don't know where they live. You put that box anywhere in your apiary, they're going to stay in there.
Yep. I mean, that's the same thing with the equalization video I did the other day. I shook all the bees off into a pro nuke. I moved the frames I wanted to the split. All the forager bees and older bees flew out, and then I'm just left with nurse bees in there, right? So I set up a ramp, dump the nurse bees in front of the colony I'm trying to populate. They all walk up. They go through security, customs, if you will, and they go right in, and now they got a new home. So it's just the KISS method, right? I'm starting to.
Well, and sometimes, there's a difference between I want to experiment with something, I want to try something new, or maybe I'm in the habit of doing something this way, or not knowing what you're doing because maybe nobody's ever taught you, or seeing something on YouTube or any other place, social media, that's just simply wrong, and it's not helpful, and it's not like I see a lot of things on YouTube, and here's the question that I have to ask right away. What problem are you trying to solve, and how do you think this is going to solve your problem?
Right.
And so those two questions I think are really, really important. Anytime you head onto a new management technique, you have to ask those two questions. If you don't have a good handle on the answers to those two questions, I think you need to do a little more learning before you start into that new technique, because you should know those two. Like, how is this going to solve a problem? What's the problem, and how is this going to solve it?
I felt so stupid last year. Because I wanted to figure out what was going on in my apiary, because I would have really strong colonies and really weak colonies. I had carnies, I had Italians, I had, I had bought some Saskatraz before. I had some Cutic canines. I had a hodgepodge of everything in there. So, first question asked to me, well, how old are your queens? And the best answer I could give them was, well, I got this in a nuke last year. That don't mean anything. I mean, it means nothing, right? So that brought up the topic, well, what is an overwintered queen? Is an overwintered queen one that was raised in the spring and has a whole year of laying under her belt? Or is it one that's come under after the summer solstice that just is overwintered and now it's first year? You don't know. Is that a nuke that was made out of a box that had been with an unmarked queen for 4 years, and then it just got put into a nuke, and now it's sold as an overwintered queen, and you don't know. You have no idea. So
surely beekeepers don't lie, do they? They wouldn't lie about something.
Oh no, never.
No.
There's not a beekeeper out there that would tell you the story.
I found out beekeepers can tell just as big tales as truck drivers can.
That fish was this big.
Just like fishermen.
Well, here's the fallacy from my standpoint, fellas. You guys are throwing out all this information. It's 14 degrees here, so by the time it gets warm enough, I can apply all this information. I will have forgot it.
That's when you go back and watch the replay. No, just kidding.
At my age, I will have forgot it.
Bad thing is, Brad and I will probably be talking tomorrow, and I'll be like, now, what was it exactly we were talking about last night?
Yeah.
That's why we have to talk about it again and again.
Yeah. And that's, for me, it was a matter of this past year. That's why I started grafting, because I replaced every one of my queens, right? With at least I knew the stock that I grafted them from. I knew how old they were. They may not be the quality that I'm desiring, but I did it, right? So now this year, if I'm using Randy Oliver's method there, I would requeen them all again, right, from my lowest mite colonies. So that's kind of the goal this year.
Okay, I got something here I want to show the new beekeepers that are watching YouTube to trying to learn something, right? Beware when you turn it to a channel and they've got brand new gloves and they pop a top on the hive
And they don't have
all the frames look like that right there. And they say, look at all of these bees. My goodness. There's a red flag there. Them are all new frames.
It'll be
These are brand new gloves. This is a brand new smoker. Okay. Beware.
That
That's all
means
I'm
my
saying.
smoker's been sitting on that hive longer than they've been keeping bees.
Yeah.
There's only one way to get a bee suit covered in dirt.
Well,
Use
see,
it.
that wouldn't exactly be right on my videos because I went through 2 bee suits last year in my yard, tearing them up. So at some point
Well, I don't wear
mid-season, I had a brand new
so you
suit
can't
on.
tell. You can't tell in my videos. I don't wear one, and you
But-
can't tell my gloves are clean either because I don't wear those either.
That could be a little bit of a fallacy too, boys. I don't know shit sick 'em, and my beef suits are filthy.
Yeah.
I just had to throw that in there because you see that so often. And it's like, you know,
bikinis, man. If they're wearing bikinis, you got to give them a pass.
yeah.
Well, you can watch. You just don't need to listen.
I did that once, and it's still hanging up here, I think.
You wore a bikini once in the bee yard?
Oh, dear.
Well, it's pretty old.
I'm waiting to
But it's
see
got a lot of
Mark's
dust
video
on it.
where it's coveralls, but they're short. They're cut off.
You can probably see it up there. It's a black brassiere.
Goodness.
Or brassiere.
I give that one a pass.
But
You're right, Mark. Like my favorite one is you see the video and you can just tell, right? Just kind of the way that they're maybe not so smooth managing things and but they're talking like, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. But what they don't say is, because I've never done it before.
Right.
This is my first time, but I'm going to teach you all about how to exactly to do it. And you know, I'm not saying that from any kind of position of superiority at all, but I don't think that's fair. I really don't think that's fair. You know, be realistic, be real on your channels. We're all learning together, and if you're
Right.
learning, say that. You know, hey, this
Right.
is something new I'm going to try. I watched some videos on it and I learned about it, and I'm going to try something new today. Not I'm the teacher. Hey, I'm the teacher. Where you can tell that you've never done it before.
Exactly.
Because you can't tell. So you're not fooling anybody. Well, you might fool maybe
Might
some
fool
of
Bob.
the newbies. But,
kind of gullible.
well, you could fool newbies, but it's not fair because then they're, you know,
Or me.
or JW.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we all love to watch newbies come in and learn, but it's a lot of these, just a lot of what I'm saying. Some of them will come on there and, you know, they haven't been keeping bees 6 months and they know everything, you know, and it's just beware, you know.
And 9 times out of 10, you didn't even need that
Dunning-Kruger.
book on it.
The old
Yeah.
Dunning-Kruger curve, eh? It's like
Yeah.
your perception of how much you know in the first year or 2 years, and you get right to the top, and then you get to year 3, and you just plummet right to the bottom
Yeah.
and realize you don't
Don't know nothing. Yeah.
That's right. And then it goes up really slow from there.
Yeah.
Happened to me. I got in this about 2 years, and I thought, I got this. And then, I got
I'll tell you what,
ass
though,
whooping, as they say.
This community has been invaluable, though. I mean, the amount of knowledge that's passed back and forth and that people are willing to share is kind of special. I mean, I never creamed honey before in my life till this year, right? Learn how to graft from somebody in the community, right? Tons of people. Mark, I've talked to you on the phone. I've talked to Brad on the phone or over Facebook. You know, tons of people that it's like, hey, what about this? You know, how many people in the chat we're getting sugar syrup from the group, from Domino, right? I mean, so it's a resource, and you just gotta, you know, like you said, be honest. If you're not sure of something, and hey, this is what I saw, this is what I'm going to try, and hey, it's my first time. We'll learn together, right? If it works, it works. If it don't,
don't hide your
That-
failures either, because
Yeah.
if you're struggling and if the mites are whipping your butt, talk about it and say, lost all the colonies because of mites, and this is what I was doing. This is what you got to be real. You got to be honest and transparent, because if you don't, like, people can't help you that much because they don't really know what's going on
Mhm.
behind the scenes. There's so many moving parts. If you're not being real with the people you expect to help you, it's not going to work. It's just not going to. It's ego. Like, the ego's gotta go,
Right.
right?
Gotta go.
It's because and I think that's something maybe that new people don't get, is that
You want my-
most of us fail more than we succeed. Right?
Right.
This is tough. It's a tough deal.
Well,
And
some of us are willing to take that chance too. If it works, you got to your risk, right? I ordered 56 queens late in the season to try to do that, and guess what? All 56 of them.
Yep.
So
Didn't work
that
out.
was $1,100 that I was willing to throw out there for a gamble on queens to try to have some overwintered stuff for the spring, and it failed. But I knew that when I ordered them that it was a risk, right? So that's on me. A lot of things, right? Making splits too early. You make them too early, you get that frost. Well, and I used this last year. I had, year before last, I had 12 colonies that made it through winter. And I said, well, it's kind of nice and warm out, 70 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and split these girls up and get them ready. Well, guess what? I split them in the same week, got cold, killed every one of them. All the brood died in them because they couldn't keep it warm. And you don't think about it. It's not that big a deal from the fact that I made the splits. That was work or practice or whatever. But the thing is that I then went from 12 colonies, and if you figure you're taking 3 brood from every colony to make your splits, well, you just killed 30% of your colonies like that. I mean, within a few days they died. Oh. And so it's definitely something that, I'm a risk taker. I do things outside of the box a lot, Prime example, had no idea what this would do. Never heard of it before. Guy sends them to me. Yeah, I'll try them. And it was a happy accident that it worked, right? So, I mean, sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. It's just what's your threshold of risk?
Yeah, it's kind of like gardening, Bob. You plant 50 tomato plants. You plant them too early. You're thinking you're gonna beat everybody else to the punch and have ripe tomatoes. And next thing you know, comes frost, kills all your tomatoes. Now you're buying 50 more tomatoes and replanting again. So now you doubled your work.
Eugene,
Well, I solved that problem, Mark. I bought a $15,000 greenhouse, so I don't lose my tomato plants anymore.
Well, yeah, that would be nice to have. I don't have one of them.
That's funny to me, right there.
my money on tomatoes.
Yeah, that's what I said. It only cost
Pay as I go.
$15,000.
Pay as I go with tomatoes instead of buying.
Peaceful mind guy. He's the greatest beekeeper anywhere. Just ask him.
I've just been a
ask him.
smart aleck.
For sure. Of course.
He says I just never see any bees in his hive. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
well. And then when he loses them, he blames it 100% on the farmers and the neonicotinoids. Has nothing to do with him. It's the farmers in the area are killing them, right? So, but they didn't kill all of them. They only killed some of them. So that's interesting fellow there.
But he don't ever have good news.
No,
It's always bad news.
and he also doesn't let you comment on his channel.
No.
Well, there's a problem there. I wouldn't even be watching his channel, but you can't comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I started watching him. I actually don't watch him anymore. I just kind of see he posted a video and don't go to look at it. But it was at one time, it's like you're thirsting for knowledge on bees and you're just trying to absorb as many beekeepers as you can. And
And then every year you swap over, you flip over there, and it was the same thing he said the year before.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Brad, the air in and out got me, but I will be
Mike's
watching.
talking about my dust collector video.
Oh, okay.
There was quite a number of suggestions on that subject that I should blow that dust outside, and I would dearly love to blow that dust outside. Trouble is, you can't exchange that much air in a building when it's very cold outside. You can't heat the building then. It exchanges air really fast. I think the math I did, it'll exchange all of the air in that building in 15 minutes, and I can have that collector running for hours when I'm working. So
Well, what are your temps up there now, Brad?
well, it's not very cold right now. Really, it's only -6 right now. So it was 2 nights ago, though. It was -25 at night. So it got cold and then it warmed right up again. So, but I could
It's
be
all
working
down
in there
here.
for
It's 13
hours.
degrees Fahrenheit here right now.
The number of days till I get to shake Brad's hand.
Well,
4.
This many.
Yeah, Bob, I think he's going to put a hammer in your hand and make you build them pallets the rest of the way.
I told him I would,
Hey.
but we're going to be so busy, we ain't going to have time.
Yeah.
that's
I
if
got
the
one
plane
job
gets
for you
there,
when you come. I got
Bob.
one job.
And that's unloading the grits.
Unloading my creamer.
Oh, yeah, no problem. We'll do that. I did say, hey, if we got a day, we can just chill out and we'll assemble pallets or whatever and just bang a bunch of
You
them
absolutely
out.
did. You offered, and I really appreciate that. I really do wish that I was set up doing some, assembly of pallets or covers or something, just to spend a few minutes together in the shop. That's always a nice bonding time, but I'm not to that point yet. I'm still just slicing up plywood.
And if the beer is flowing, you could probably watch me staple my hand to a pallet.
Stay away from the table saw.
We'll just buy a case of blade breaks.
Yeah.
See how many we go through. We're going to go through more beers than blade breaks.
But it's going to be a fun time, I think. And I'm looking forward to it. My wife actually colored her hair this evening. She wanted to make sure her hair was not gray, I guess. I don't know. She's like, oh, I heard her. She's listening. She said, oh, that's something to share.
Well, Bob, I wish you luck. I sure hope your plane gets there before the conference is over.
Yeah, at least my luggage. The plane will probably get there. My luggage will come when I'm heading back home, probably.
Well, this air service is right now. I wouldn't hold my breath.
That's a good question. I don't know if that's an appropriate thing. Is it appropriate, Brad, to stream from up there?
I don't see why not.
Other than I'll use Brad's tripod, so y'all will quit bitching at me.
I got 2 tripods. I'll give one to Bob specifically. He can have his own tripod while he's here. I'll even show him how to use it.
I've got one right over there.
I got a smoker. I'll show Bob how to use a smoker too.
I seen Bob's video the other day. He's getting ate up by his bees, and his smoker was over there unlit on another hive. Just sitting there.
I've got about 2 colonies out there that are pretty aggressive. The ones
I watched you run from the other day.
The ones that I was actually working in weren't mad at all. But when I was looking for some more nurse bees and cracked that one, which is funny because I went out there a couple hours later and I lifted that whole box off, set it off to the side, put a deep underneath it, and put it back on there, and nothing, no problems. So it's just, I don't know. I got bipolar bees. So we're gonna try to get that fixed up this year. Those are the first nukes I'm making right there, Mark. Here, you need a nuke? Here you go. Especially if that guy that left me hanging on 6 of them last year, I'll make sure he gets a couple of them nukes. Here, I got a special nuke for you with a bunch of bees in there. I even already have it duct tape shut for you. But yeah, so yeah, I'm excited. A couple more days of work and then on the
Should be
on
fun
the trip.
times.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Forward
fun.
to it. I'm
And
gonna be wore out, man. I'm gonna be wore out after 2
I'm
days.
saying,
of
when you
bed.
drop me off at the airport, though, you can go home and rest. I actually have to fly 8 hours and then drive 3 hours back from the airport. So
I get it. Yeah, that's a big endeavor.
Can you fly right? Are you flying right into Winnipeg, Bob? Once you get up there?
no, I'm driving to Atlanta. I'm flying from Atlanta to Toronto and from Toronto to Winnipeg. So it's but if I'm not mistaken, it was would have cost me $500 more to fly from Charlotte than from Atlanta. So I'll drive 6 hours for $500. You know, I guess what it amount to round trip. But yeah, I'm game. But see, I was really honestly, they were saying, well, it should be -40 or something, what Doug was talking about, right? And now it's like, oh, well, it's going to be 20s and to 30s. I'm like, well, shit. It's like I missed the dance, you know?
Have you flown out of Have you flown out of Atlanta before?
Yes, sir. I've flown from Atlanta before. But
that can be a little hectic sometimes.
Yeah, I don't even think I'm gonna drive my truck. We'll probably drive the Bronco over there and leave it in the long-term storage.
Long-term.
Mm-hmm. Instead of the truck, because the truck doesn't fit in normal parking spaces too well. It always seems like it's sticking out in the road a bit, even when I'm all the way up. So, first of all, I don't want somebody to clip it while it's in the parking lot. And secondly, I don't want them to say, ooh, that's a nice truck. Let me just procure that and pay this parking ticket and get out of here, right? So
My truck, everybody likes to hit it as big as it is.
Yeah.
I got a Dodge 3500 full-size bed in it. And people love to hit the back end of that truck.
That same truck I drive.
Oh, Ryan, is Ryan up there with you? He says, are you going to live stream from up here? You know Ryan Bennett? Where are you located, Ryan?
Do I know you, Ryan? I don't know.
You see all the bee shat in peaceful porch? Oh, I saw it last year. It's like, oh, he's in Alberta.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
The yeah, that dude puts them in the building on his porch, and then when it's a nice day, he'll roll them outside. So he's constantly moving his hives from inside to outside, inside to outside. So, and he's in Michigan. That guy.
Yeah, no comment. Yeah, Bob, here's the long term. So you arrive on Thursday, -4 on Thursday, -6 Friday, and 4 above on
4 is
Friday,
what,
on
40,
Saturday.
35 or 40, right?
4 is
Yeah, that's
40.
hoodie weather.
5 on Sunday, 8 on Monday, 6 on Tuesday. So it's not going to be cold.
I'm bringing the warm weather with me.
It looks like it. A lot of sun too. And
Ryan said even people from Alberta would laugh. if we said we were going to Winnipeg in February.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
That
looking
should be a good time.
really forward to it.
I would like to came up for the Stepler bull sale. What's that?
Well, come on.
I think you can get that
think
online,
it's
can't
over.
you? Yeah, they had it last
It's
week
over,
or
I
something.
think. I had a catalog from what's his name?
Yeah, it was Tuesday.
Ian's brother.
Tuesday they were.
Yeah.
Was they getting ready on Tuesday? Something like that.
Maybe this weekend. I'm not sure. Maybe it was today. Maybe today's what, Saturday?
Mm-hmm. Well, it was.
It's Sunday now.
Yeah, you're right on that.
I have 12 more days and I get to go home for a week.
Oh, are you on the road someplace? Are you, David?
Yeah. I during the winter time, since I can't mess with bees, I stay out 6 weeks at a time.
Oh,
I
I
can't
keep
stay out
March
6 days, let alone 6 weeks.
Yeah, March 1st I go home and I've been out here 6 weeks.
Mm.
What's
and
your
after that,
normal
bee
area
season's
you're
coming up,
driving
so
in?
I'll be home every 2 to 3 weeks.
What area you normally drive in, David?
All over the United States, all the way up to the Canadian border, all the way down to the Mexican border, and all the way across
Oh,
from
so
east to
you're-
west.
Yeah, okay.
I was in Washington State over there by D.C. 5 days ago. I was delivered in New Jersey yesterday. Now I'm here in Virginia.
Yeah,
Takes me about 4.5 days to go all the way across the United States.
yeah.
I used to do all that.
Yeah, I've done my
I've
share
been doing it
too.
for almost 30 years now. 4.5 million miles I've driven.
Wow.
Now, after about 2 days, if I don't come home, somebody's going to get a earful.
I get an earful
My
when I
brother
stay
put
out
it-
this long by the wife.
My brother put in 40 years and 5 million miles.
Yep. Hopefully this is my last year out here, and I'm looking at going log trucking or something like that, where I'm home every night. Get paid
Yeah.
a third of the money though that I'm getting paid now though.
Yeah, but money ain't everything.
Yep, that's for sure. I
I
know
wouldn't
that on
know.
Beekeeper.
I've never had enough to say that.
Well, at the end of this year, my house will be paid off, and then that takes a big burden off me.
Yeah.
You think?
fellas, I think
It-
I'm gonna check off here. My buddy here is wanting to go to bed, so
All right.
Good night,
All right.
dog.
W. Yeah.
I'm gonna check out on you. It's past the old man's bedtime. Y'all have a good one.
Good night.
Okay,
good night.
okay.
The what company you driving for, David?
Crete Carrier out of
Crete.
Lincoln, Nebraska.
I used to drive for England, CR England. That was
I've
enough.
been over here at Crete now for 9.5 years. After I fought cancer, I lost my company, and so I come over here to Crete because of the insurance reasons. So I lost my authority and my trucks when I fought cancer.
That's the Mark's place might be hiring.
Do what?
Mark, the place,
Mark's place? Yeah.
Tyson.
Mark's place is always hiring.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say nothing about all that.
I know
know
how you
Mark
feel
works
about
at.
that.
I'll just keep my mouth shut on that, dude.
My place is always hiring where I work at.
I had a good job. I can't say for sure I got a good job now. Time will tell.
Right. I make good money. I can't complain about the money at all over here.
I don't even know what good money is.
I make a little over 6 figures every year over here at Crete.
A little over? How much over?
Yeah. About 10 over. I make 110 a year over here.
And you're staying out that long?
You know, only through the winter. Rest of the time I'm home every 14, 21 days during the
It ain't
summer.
worth it. It
Unless they
ain't
got
worth it.
really good insurance. That's one reason why I come over here to begin with, because the insurance is really good over here.
Right. I've got to have my insurance too. I've got cancer. I know what you mean.
Yeah, I fought kidney cancer back in 2011, 2012.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you're still here.
Oh, yeah. Especially when my mother-in-law was diagnosed with the same cancer I was at the time, and she passed, and I survived.
Mm.
Wow.
My wife had me and her mom both at the same time, taking care of both of us.
Yeah. Well, they're keeping an eye on my adrenal glands on my kidneys too. I ain't gonna go through all that, but
That's why I only got 1.5 kidneys now.
yeah.
At the time, I was diabetic, so they didn't want to take the whole kidney. Now I don't have diabetes anymore. I've been diabetic free for 4 years.
Cool. What did that happen?
Well, guys, it's 1:20 a.m. on the East Coast here. I think I'm going to shut the live stream off. Definitely appreciate everybody that came and joined us late in the evening on a Saturday night. And, anytime we're live, you guys are welcome to come in. And I like these in-depth conversations that kind of borderline psychotic when I get talking on stuff. Well, the whole thing is we were having, this is a true story. Brad was there that last evening, Ian was hanging out with us for a minute, and we started getting in a really deep conversation. And it wasn't an argument, right? Just like this. It wasn't an argument, just opposing thoughts on something. And we didn't really disagree with each other on certain things. We just were allowed to speak our opinion. And then what it does is it stimulates you, maybe not right this second, but later on you'd be like, you know what? I see what that guy was talking about. I kind of understand, right? So now you're thinking about, well, if that's the case, then what if we tried this, right? It's just open dialogue of brainstorming and not really pushing an agenda or a point, but just making a different thought out there, right? And it really does allow for some healthy conversations on topics, because I think a lot of times, like we talked about earlier, people do things because they just do that thing, right? So, and until somebody shows you something different, you continue to do that same thing, right? Like the old story of, a lady would cut the ends off of her meatloaf in the pan, and she cut it off because her mom cut it off because her mom cut it off. And one day the granddaughter asked the grandmother, why do you cut the ends off? And she said, well, that's because that's the only size pan I had it would fit in.
Yeah.
So it's just, they're just doing it because that's the way they were shown to do it. And then they passed it on and showed it to them. There was no rhyme or reason to it. And sometimes that falls into what we're doing as well, I think.
Yeah. Repeat.
Yep. So our mentor shows us something and we do that and we keep doing it. It's not that it's not working or anything like that, but that's just how we were shown. So we keep doing
There's
that.
a lot of superstition. There's a lot of superstition. And some of that comes into when we do things like we manage our bees and we change more than one thing, right? So we'll change 2 things or we'll change 3 or 4 things in a season. And then we see, wow, my bees look great this year, but you don't know what among those 3 or 4 things actually was the difference. So now the other 3 things become superstition. Well, I've got to do this now because that's what I did last time. And the bees, when it's actually just one thing, you can ditch the other 3 things because they didn't make a difference. It's that one thing. So that's a trick
Right.
where you don't really, you lose track of what actually made the difference, and then it becomes superstition.
And then we just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, right? So it is what it is. But until you have a discussion of, hey, why exactly are you doing that? It's just out there. And some people will get pissed off if you ask them, right? I mean, literally, well, why are you doing that? Isn't this a better way?
Yeah.
Some people
they
get
get
offended by
very
it.
defensive.
And you're not really
I know.
challenging
I know a
what
good
they're
sized
doing.
beekeeper here. He's got quite a few colonies, and he'll talk to me about his methods, and he'll tell me that he makes a certain concoction to put in the feed in the fall, and I asked him one day, so what's that really doing for you? He just and he'll come right out and say it. He says, well, I don't really know, but I always do it, and my bees look great, so I'm going to keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's right. It's almost like he's afraid not to do it.
Right.
My curiosity.
I used to make a
me
concoction all the time, and I quit doing it after my 2nd year. I followed Dave at Barnyard Bees and made his concoction, put my sugar syrup, and now I just feed straight sugar syrup, and I didn't see any difference from putting all them peppermint and all that into it, and tea tree oil and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean that's it. It's not like to offend anybody. It's just to like open a broader conversation. And some people like that. Some people don't like it. I thrive on it. I'm not the guy that will always disagree with somebody. Just we all have those people, right? It doesn't matter if who your
some
sports
folks
team
just
is.
love to argue. They want to argue, right?
Yeah, I've got a friend that knows I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan, right? Whoever Minnesota's playing, that's the team he's pulling for, just because he wants to argue with me, right? It doesn't matter. It's not that he has any vested interest, right? But I'm not that guy. But I do like conversation, right? And and that's what's making these live streams and stuff go pretty good. I think is the ability to poke fun at people sometimes and ask them questions. Well, why are you shaking your bees all over the ground? What are you doing that for? What are you trying to achieve?
I was wondering the same thing with Ian's video the first time I seen him do that.
That's perfect, dude. I do it.
Yeah, I do it now, but the first time I seen Ian do it on his video, I was like, why is he doing that?
Because the ones on the ground can't fly, and they'll walk in the nearest colony, right? Well,
I was watching videos 5 years before I got my first hive because I have no mentor out where I live at. I don't have no beekeepers where I'm at. It's 90 miles to the closest one that I know of, unless I go into the Amish community, and they don't like talking to us English people that well unless we're buying something from them.
Well, Brad, whose video was it that took? Was it Randy Oliver or somebody else that took the $5,000 worth of bulk bees and just dumped them right on the ground because he had extra queens?
Yeah, it was Randy Oliver. I seen him on that speech in New York Wilderness. He's talking about it.
You're muted, Brett. You are muted, sir.
The comical part was that he took all the money that his boys had made on the nukes, and he spent them on these bulk bees, and then he poured bees on the ground. His boys nearly killed him, I think.
And they all just walked right in. All right. So we'll I'll pull the trigger on the stream right now. All right, guys. Everybody have a good evening,
Good night,
and we'll
everybody.
talk to you all next time.
Good night, y'all.
All right.